Good morning. I am comedian Haley Boyle. I am super tired because we had daylight savings last night, which meant that the baby stayed up until like 3 a.m. And then because we have free daycare for a limited time, thanks to CPS giving me a hassle a few months ago, we have to get up really early because you have to have them there by 9 because of the routine, blah, blah, blah. I just want to be rich enough to have a nanny. I want to sleep in. My baby wants to sleep in. Okay. Any hoodle. That's not what I came here to talk about today. I came to talk about DBT and how it works and why it works. So, you may have heard of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. And let me tell you, these things are kind of hard to research because I'm a researcher. I got a smack of the autism. I like to know what I'm getting into before I do it. And this was really, really hard to research, or really, really difficult to try to find anything online that would let me do it on my own or anything like that. And in fact, the two therapists I went to first that I sought out, because licensed clinical social workers are who perform this type of therapy. And the first two that I went to that I sought out for this treatment, that specialized in this treatment and requested this treatment, did not give me any sort of tools, information, nothing. It was just regular talk therapy. One of them ended up having a scheduling change, which ended up being a blessing. And then the next one, I ended up walking out on her after having like a 2-week panic attack and being like, tell me what to do. And now looking back at it, she could have just been like, find 5 green things in the room and count them out loud, name them out loud. But she just was like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, well, then can you get me into a hospital? And she was like, no, you got to go tell them you're suicidal. Like, it was really difficult to get this treatment once I figured out I wanted it, which was thanks to a dear friend, my little seashell, who was brave enough to actually send me her paperwork from when she was hospitalized, which was such an amazing gift to actually give me an idea of what I was looking for. That was the hardest part. I knew I wanted CBT, didn't know what it looked like, couldn't get anyone to give it to me. Finally started getting CBT treatment when I took myself to the hospital. And what I found out is that DBT, dialectal behavioral therapy, is the module of CBT that's the actual tools and methods that you use. Now, the point of this type of therapy is that your brain is an amazing thing. Now, there are plenty of people out there that have issues that are not trauma related, not this type of depression and stuff. But if you have PTSD, or you've been traumatized in some way, or your depression is situational as opposed to chemical, this is a cure. It's not a fast cure. It doesn't feel like a cure for quite some time, but you can actually get better, like real better. And how it works is your brain, when you're traumatized or something really bad happens, or you're in a period of extended badness or what have you. Let's just use me for an example. Obviously. Okay, so my mom used to say the same horrible things to me over and over. And in her mind, she was motivating me. And maybe for another person, it would have worked as motivation. For me, it did not. So let's say my mom telling me I'm too complicated and difficult. No one's ever going to be able to love me. She said it to me so many times that my brain formed a physical, actual, like if you were to cut my head open and say those words to me, you could see the neuron lighting up that my brain says, I'm too difficult, I'm too complicated, no one's ever going to love me. So let's say someone says they love me. My response is, that's impossible. Now I'm suspicious. Now I'm sabotaging. Now I'm panicking. Now that I'm pushing them away. Now they've abandoned me. Now I'm really freaking out. Like, because that is my brain's default setting. And I have lots of those, lots of negative neural connections that my brain defaults to. Some from trauma, some from repeated negativity, so forth and so on. Well, CBT gives you the tools to challenge these thoughts. Use mindfulness, distress tolerance, interpersonal effectiveness to challenge and correct these thoughts. Which means when my brain says, you're too difficult, too complicated, no one's ever, I say, that's not true. That's not true. I am worthy of love. I am lovable. And then I can give myself this evidence that I have. You have to do it manually. It's incredibly difficult in the beginning. Incredibly difficult because you're like, this is bullshit. I'm miserable. No one likes me. All the evidence says I suck. but you have to push it. So in the beginning, it feels like lying in a way. It feels disingenuous because for moments you can get a glimpse that people are right, that you are lovable, that you are worthwhile, but your overall prevailing truth is that you're not. So you're going against your own grain. Um, Now, for me, I don't think that would have been possible if I hadn't been taking some medication. I took 50 milligrams of Zoloft, which is like the lowest dose of the most innocuous, anti-anxiety medication. However, it gave me the head start I needed. And this is what people mean when they say that medication on its own or therapy on its own is not going to be anywhere near as effective as medication and therapy together. And that is correct. Medication, the right medication, gives you a boost so that you can do the work. Taking Zoloft slowed down the negative, anxious thoughts to a point where I could challenge them. Not all of them. A lot of them slipped through, but it gave me a beginning, a place to start where I could challenge these thoughts and start to establish these new, more positive neural pathways. Now, even after I started getting this treatment was still difficult to maintain. Getting into other programs and things like this, months in between and blah, blah, blah. I'm not on Zoloft. I haven't been on Zoloft for a long time now because, well, most psych medications are made for something else, and the side effect was anti-anxiety, antidepressant, whatever. So they can have a lot of other effects on your body. So I don't recommend taking medication as a cure-all. I don't recommend staying on medication after you don't need it anymore. But don't just come off your meds because each of these meds has its own things. Some of them can cause brain clicks and things like that. Surrender to the treatment and listen to your doctor to the point that it makes sense. Okay, no, did my doctor want me to come off Zoloft? No, but did they tell me absolutely don't come off Zoloft? No, they said if you feel like it's the right thing to do, let's give it a try. Keep coming to therapy. Here's a number to call if you're in a crisis. And, I did my thing. For me, Zoloft used to be a heart medication. That's how it began. And for me, I was having side effects that everyone insisted couldn't be related to the Zoloft, but they started when I was taking the Zoloft. They were vascular. A hematologist and a rheumatologist couldn't find anything wrong with me, and the symptoms ceased when I stopped taking the Zoloft. So I feel pretty confident that I was having a reaction to the Zoloft, and it was probably going to kill me. That's beside the point. I'm glad I took it. I'm glad I took it because it gave me a chance. It gave me a fighting chance to swim upriver against my own depressive, negative, repetitive, invasive thoughts. Gave me a foothold. Now, mind you, this was over a year ago, and I am just now starting to see the results. I'm just now to a place where my brain is defaulting to the positive thoughts that I've been aggressively teaching myself as opposed to the negative thoughts. So it does work. It can work. You can do it. It is not going to be easy. It is not going to be fast. And there's going to be layers to it. Like right now, I'm in a great place, but I've been dealing with this long enough to know that there's a good chance there's going to be more down dips before it goes up. I know full well that when you do EMDR treatments, they say that you could have nightmares and things like this because it does bring things back. It's part of the process, and it's worth it. It is worth it. And the best part about being on this side of it, where it's starting to work and I'm starting to feel the benefits of my hard work and I'm starting to feel more positive, is that it's like a waterfall. Now that I'm here, I can see so much more of what's good in my life and what's good about me. And I can clearly see what was not good. No more of this indecisiveness. Do I deserve this? Am I making it bad? Is it my fault? So I feel like it's going to go a lot faster from here on out. That just not being at war with myself makes dealing with treatment that much easier. So, and if you do have questions and stuff like that, if you want to know more, like I'm obviously an open book, and I know only a handful of people are following along, but even if one of you is being helped by this, then great. So if you want to comment and ask questions or anything like that, please do. Or if you want to reach me privately, you can always inbox me on Facebook or actually Facebook's kind of, I set it to private, but Instagram, Twitter, you can always get a hold of me if you want to talk to me, if you want to know what's going on more, if you want advice, if you want encouragement, that sort of thing. I also want to say that doing that gratitude video the other day made me realize something, and that is that I have so many women in my life that are amazing to me. It's just, they've really, like, it's been a network of women that have kept me afloat this whole time. And I'm not trying to make this a gender issue. I'm simply saying that for me personally, my platonic relationships have been of great value to me, as far as keeping me afloat keeping me alive, keeping me moving forward. And my romantic relationships have depleted the fuck out of me. I have just bad habits of picking people that need so much from me, and it's things I can't spare, things I say I can't spare, that do things that I've said are not going to be okay with me. And so, like I said, I'm not trying to make this a gender thing. I'm saying that for me moving forward, like, I'm not going to be this person that just doesn't do romantic relations anymore. I want a partner, but I'm learning more and more what to look for and what to stay away from. I don't want someone that's going to come in fact, just yesterday I matched with some dude on Tinder, and I was like, "Tell me about you, what's important to you, what are you passionate about?" And he was like, "You're thinking too much. That's how you make mistakes." And I was like, "Bye." No, I look, don't try to make my decisions for me. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to fight with you. I'm just going to walk away. I make my decisions. I'm a 40-year-old fucking woman. And if you can't tell me one thing that you give a shit about and you're going to make me work for any of your personal information, goodbye. If you are secretive or just whatever, I'm so tired of people. The last guy I really, really liked, I really, really liked him. Like, I really liked him. I wanted to build something with him. And the minute there was any kind of conflict, his reaction was to act like he was my fucking football coach and just shit on me and be like, tough it up and blah, 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 and fuck you. Like, sorry, bro. That's a fucking deal breaker. The point is, I know what the fuck I want. I know what the fuck I don't want. So I think that's going to help reduce a lot of wasted time. Tomorrow we're going to talk more about giving yourself the best fighting chance, because this video is fucking 12 minutes long already. Oh, holy shit. Okay.